Hello everybody, how are you? We're back again with another consumer video. This time we're going to talk about the 5 worst home improvement stores in San Jose. Let's just jump right into it, guys. The first one is Resonate. Resonate Home Improvement. They're going to be out on the far north side near the Outer Belt, north of San Jose in the suburbs. And Resonate has an interesting marketing approach because they want all of their items to resonate with the buyer. What that means is they will have you recite haikus that they'll give you, and just based on the tone of your voice and the biofeedback that they use, they'll then suggest certain items. So that could be the color of paint, that could be the type of locks that they'll recommend, that could be the tools that they'll suggest you use in your home improvement endeavors. So it's a kind of a high-tech new age approach, if you will. But the problem that I had when I was in there was that I had a cold. And so all of my biofeedback was affected by my complaining, sniffling, and sneezing. The achy overall feeling I had at the time. So, for example, when I told them that I was painting a room in my house, the clerk came back and said, "We are going to recommend a gray, a very dark gray for the entryway to your home." I said, well, no, this is where people come in to the house. You want it to be bright and happy and welcoming. They said, our technology shows us that you should have a very, very dark gray, almost black color for the entryway to your house, because that's how you're presenting yourself to the world. I said, oh my gosh. I said, I got to get out of California. You guys are insane. So for that reason, I'm going to say no to Resonate Home Improvement Store in San Jose. Now, the second one on our list is Listing Home Improvement. They're going to be out on the Far East Side, guys. They're over there by the aquarium, if you can picture that. So Listing is a home improvement store that just didn't jive with me, because what they'll do is when you purchase something easy, like let's say a can of WD-40, they give you a list of suggested items. All right, well, okay. They're marketing, they're in business. But guys, the listing of suggested items aren't items at their store. This is what I don't get. So let's say you buy a Phillips screw head driver, right? So the list that you get will include things that they think you might be using the Phillips head screwdriver on. For example, you might be poking holes in a can that you can't open. That you're going to pound it with a hammer just to get some oil out of an old motor oil container. I'm like, well, all right. So the other thing that they think you might be doing with a Phillips head screwdriver is punching a hole in your belt that one doesn't exist already because you're too fat, right? And you need to have that belt expand a little bit. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with a Phillips head screwdriver that I just think it's ridiculous that they're waiting. They're telling me to wait. So they print out this list. I'm like, all right, you print it. I'm going to exit out the door. And so that's number 2 on my list. Now, number 3 on the worst home improvement stores in San Jose is Murky. Now, Murky is right there on downtown, just off of downtown in the industrial section there, because they get a lot of commercial trade. And what the sort of the ownership of this place is kind of vague. We're not really sure who owns the place, because when you go into Murky, it's kind of dim, right? The lights are dim. The floor is sort of soft. It's kind of creepy because you're not sure. It feels like you're walking on the back of a snake, right? If you can picture a slithering, moving, kind of slick, almost slick, but and yet scaly surface. So I had the feeling that it was all a ruse, that it's some kind of joke, like maybe one of those scary haunted houses and stuff. But I guess what I was told by people that have been there and have never gone back, as I have not, is that they're trying to kind of creep you out so that you don't hang around. They said what the problem with the home improvement centers sometimes is that people come in and they walk around because they can't find anything. So they end up spending 3-4 days inside the home improvement center. And there's been places that have closed for the day and found 4 or 5 shoppers still wandering around. So I guess they're trying to get you to be quick. Like, just get your stuff and get out. And by making it kind of murky, that you'll do that, I guess. Well, the only problem I have is it makes you not want to come back. So I'm going to put that on my list of the no-goes. Now, number 4 on our list of the 5 worst home improvement centers in San Jose, California is horsemanship. Now, horsemanship caters to a smaller clientele. They are targeting people that are obviously in the horse community, but they've broadened that out to woodworking, wood construction, anything that has to do with the horse world that could also apply to a general customer. So you might find some good deals in there. There is an interesting approach they have that I found not to my liking, and that is they make you ride a horse through the aisles. And the thinking there, what they're trying to do is make the horse people comfortable, because they know how to ride horses. They know how to reach for items. Some of them are in those events like you see in the Olympics where they bend down and pick up stuff off of the show floor of the show ring floor. So they're catering again to a horse community, and so that makes them more comfortable, more prone to spend more money. But the problem again for a general customer is that, you know, if you've only ridden a horse once in your life, and that was when your cousin talked you into go into some farm 3 miles outside of nowhere, because they quote unquote rent horses by the hour. And so you went there and the horses didn't look like they'd actually been fed in a couple months. And you were given a horse that was 27 feet tall. And within 5 minutes of being on Brutus, Brutus bucked you off and you went flying into some rose bushes full of thorns. So that is a very common occurrence to a non-horse customer. And so they're not going to feel comfortable, as I didn't when I was told I had to ride a horse around inside this particular home improvement center. So guys, if you're into the horse community, maybe you'll love it. But for me, it gave me flashbacks. And in fact, my skin started to turn red where those thorns entered my body when I was 10 years old. Just from the bad memory. So number 5 on our list of the 5 worst home improvement centers in San Jose is overalls. Now, overalls is going for, and now if you remember when many of the home improvement centers began to grow, the ones that we know that are so large today, sometimes, not always, but sometimes they would get rid of the old guys that were in there in favor of a new, younger, hipper crowd. And that's unfortunate. The problem was that the old guys knew how to fix stuff. None of the younger people had ever fixed anything, right? Because they never had to. You just throw it away. But the old guys came from a different generation where you actually repaired things. So for that reason, it was unfortunate. But now what's happening is that because of the labor shortage of qualified people, they're hiring them back. And the customers love it. I mean, if you go in and you just have a simple, this is especially true because nobody learns anything anymore. Nobody knows how to do anything. like fix basic things, like change their oil, like this kind of thing. Okay, I know that's automotive, but you get what I'm saying. So now they're hiring back. Well, Overall's Home Improvement Center hired all these guys back that they were fired from the other places. Am I making any sense so far? So the hook, the part of the marketing hook is that they all wear overalls. Okay. So listen, when I walked in, I like, finally, somebody that, knows what I'm talking about when I don't know what I'm talking about. When I can just kind of describe it and they go, yeah, I know what you mean. Here's what you're going to do. All right. And that's all good. But here's the only problem I had, because I kept going and I had the same salesperson every time. And I started on my usual spiel about I'm trying to fix this and I don't know how to do. And I look over and he's asleep. So that is one of the downsides of this approach, is that your salesperson might sit down on a bucket that they turned upside down and then just take a nap right in the middle of your spiel. So I've learned, but let's just call it a mix. It's 50-50. It depends on, you should go there and see how it works for you. I would just say you don't want to touch anybody, but maybe just bring a little bell, right? Ding-a-ling-ling-ling-ling, and that'll wake them up. And then usually, this is what's interesting, it doesn't matter that they fell asleep. They still were registering what you said. And here's why. Here's how they know what you're saying. Because they've heard the same spiel from idiots like me that don't know anything, and they know what to say. And in fact, that's why they take a nap, I think. Is that they already know the answer of what they're going to tell you, because they've heard 10 other schmucks that can't use a hammer explain the same problem to them, and they know the answer. So they take a little snooze. It helps them get through the day, guys. So guys, however you look at it, give it a try. Maybe it works for you, maybe not. But if you know any other home improvement stores that we want to avoid, leave a comment. If you know some good ones in San Jose, leave a comment there. Because listen, when you share good information, you help lift the whole community. Talk to you soon.